Secretary of State John Kerry met with Iran's foreign minister face-to-face yesterday for half an hour. It is the highest level government contact between the two countries since 1979. Kerry talks about Iran's nuclear program in a 60 Minutes interview. He told Scott Pelley that the Iranians have to convince the United States they are not trying to build nuclear weapons.
Give me an example, one concrete step, one thing that they can do to assure the world that they're giving up their ambitions.
They could immediately open up inspection of the Fordow facility, a secret facility and underground in the mountains, fortified and unquestionably not something that a peaceful program would be doing. They could immediately sign the protocols, the additional protocols of the international community regarding inspections. They could offer to cease voluntarily, to take enrichment above a certain level, keep it at a very low level because there's no need to have it at a higher level for a peaceful program. There are any number of things they could do, Scott.
What bold step could the United States take right now to answer this apparent opening by the Iranians?
Well, providing that the Iranians take concrete steps, I'm confident they would have an expectation that the United States is going to respond by perhaps adjusting the sanctions regime that we have today, by setting up a process that shows them how they can have this peaceful program without disturbing our efforts to make sure that no country is now going to build nuclear weapons.
Scott Pelley joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
I talked with the president of Iran this week, and I asked him exactly what he was prepared to put on the table. Do you have the impression that Secretary Kerry believes they're prepared to do something that will cause the United States to loosen the sanctions?
Well, one of the things that Kerry said was we have hopes, but not necessarily expectations. I think they're trying to open this dialogue. The president and Secretary Kerry believe that this is a true opening from Iran, and they're going to exploit it every way that they can. They've decided, as you know, Charlie, that there are going to be more talks on the nuclear issue in Geneva later in October, and I think that's when we're going to start to see how serious both sides are.
Push.
It was a key meeting on Thursday. I mean, the first time we've seen the Secretary of State sit down with the Iranian foreign minister. Our countries have not had relations for more than 30 years. But then Kerry said that he thought he could see a deal within 3 to 6 months. Overly ambitious?
Well, Rouhani, the president of Iran, said that he wanted a deal in 3 to 6 months, and we asked Kerry about that, and he said, why not sooner? But then the Iranian foreign minister last night said, well, maybe we can do something in a year. So these are all areas of negotiation. But the United States is trying to essentially say to Iran, we'll be a partner with you. If you're serious about this, you'll find a willing partner in the United States.
Let's talk about Syria for a second, because we hear that they've reached a deal with Russia to give up their chemical weapons without a military option. Did the Secretary say how that agreement will be enforced by either the U.S. or Russia?
Huge day yesterday, Gail, really, for the Secretary of State on both of these issues. The United States wanted a threat of force written into the UN Security Council resolution on Syria. Russia, which has a veto, as you know, on the Council, said, "Niet, we're not going to let you have that." So it was a big give for the United States to say, okay, we're going to drop that threat of force that we wanted. That was what happened over this week and what caused them to get the deal done. Now, Kerry told us in the interview, look, no matter what happens at the United Nations, the United States is going to maintain its unilateral ability, its option to use military force in Syria. So he gets to say that, the UN gets to sidestep it, and that's how a deal got done.
But are we left with trusting that everyone will do what they say they're going to do?
Well, that's the devil lies in the details. Right. One interesting thing now is the U.S. government has said Assad, the dictator in Syria, has to go. He's murdered too many of his own people. He has to go. But now they've made a chemical weapons deal with him. In a sense, the United States needs him to stay in power to complete that deal. How long does it take to get the deal done? That's the question.
Scott, you heard Senator John McCain was here earlier, and he said he was extremely disappointed in this deal that they have struck for this new UN resolution because it doesn't have that enforceable action on that. And he said that the rebels who are trying to defeat Assad are really disappointed about this. They feel that they've been abandoned, in the senator's words. Did Kerry say anything about that? I mean, this idea that the whole debate now is shifted to chemical weapons and not about arms arming the rebels.
One of the things that Kerry hopes to do, Nora, is to make this chemical weapons deal larger and get everyone around a peace table to talk about peace. And I said, with 100,000 people dead and this civil war having gone on for so long, how are you possibly going to get all of these factions around a peace table to talk about peace? And Kerry said the first thing that has to happen is that Assad, the dictator, has to announce that he's not going to run for office again. And that once that happens, you can get people to come talk about peace.
And that's 2014.
And that's 2014, Charlie, exactly right. But the other thing Kerry said was, look, none of this is easy.
Scott Pelley,
Scott.
thank you.
Great to be with you.
You
Thank
look good in the morning, Scott.
Hey, I
Pelley.
appreciate it. I'm either watching you in the morning or I'm here in the
Well, it's
morning.
nice to have you at
one
the
way or the
table.
other.
Come often.
You can see Scott's entire interview with Secretary of State Kerry that Sunday night on the season premiere of 60 Minutes right here on CBS.